Hi there, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to be with you.
Well, it's nice to be with you because you're doing something here that should have been done many, many, many years ago, and that is opening up the door for people to talk about their favorite school teachers.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you, you're absolutely right. And this is something that kind of, I guess, occurred to me like many, many years ago. Whenever I would give a speech to any group and somehow I would reference my childhood or growing up, and my teacher, my sixth grade English teacher, Mrs. Dorothy Hardy, I would have people come up to me after the speech to talk about their own teachers.
Yep.
So I know this is something out there in the zeitgeist in terms of people having these warm, lovely memories of teachers. But after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, I thought teachers really can use these lessons right now because they were feeling very undervalued. They're leaving the profession. They're feeling disregarded and disrespected. So I thought it was time to pay a tribute to teachers.
Yep, my wife was one of them. After several decades of being a kindergarten to second grade teacher, it was like I don't have it anymore. And I mean, we built a studio in the house and everything just for her to be able to communicate with those students during the lockdown.
Oh, yeah. There were so many stories of teachers who showed their dedication and their passion during that time. And I think more than anything else, it was really driven home to me about how much they could use a little bit of a hug. Mm-hmm. You know, we're so accustomed to teachers giving us the lessons and the lift. Well, they needed that, and I thought this is an opportunity to give this to them.
Well, this is going to become a very big book with future students of people becoming teachers, because what I got out of Lessons Learned and Cherished is the fact that you're showcasing the reality of why they sacrifice what they do in order to help. I always call it popping a seed. Pop that seed and watch a child's heart grow with blossoms and fruit.
Oh my gosh. And the selflessness, too, of teachers. I mean, when you think about it, that like close to 70% of teachers either work a second job or have worked a second job just to sort of supplement their income. And so many of them dig into their own pockets to help their students. And, Misty Copeland, the ballerina, talked about that in the book. And others talked about how the teacher came to their rescue and just did certain things for them just because they needed it. And teachers don't even think twice about it. But on the other hand, we know that they are, not paid what they should be. Their wages have remained flat for the last 2 to 3 decades. So teachers can really use some attention right now from all of us.
Oh, and the compassion they've got. I remember when I was badly injured because of hockey in the 11th grade, I was ready just to drop out of school because I was home for 6 weeks and I didn't know what to do. Those teachers came to my house and said, come to the school. You can write all day. I don't care if you don't take notes of what we're saying. Come and write your book. And this was in the 11th grade. And that's what got me back in because they took that time to share some love.
They cared. Yeah. And so many of these stories are about teachers who cared. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some stories. Melody Hobson, the entrepreneur, a media business mogul, talks about a teacher who was really tough, really tough. But she says it taught her grit and determination. Yeah. So there's stories of warm, caring, loving teachers, and there's stories of tough teachers in here, too. But all of them seem to have a profound impact on their students, either at that moment or later in life. And that's what I wanted people to realize, that teachers have this amazing ability to change lives, to inspire students. And that's what I think we need to highlight and remember.
Yeah. It was the tough teachers that I still remember. I mean, Mr. Barone made me copy dictionary pages because I wouldn't quit talking in school. To this day, I love my dictionary, and I look up words and I write things out, it's because of him.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be a little bit of a punishment for you, but it was something that you took to heart, and it really, it was cemented, right?
Yes, yeah. Wow. So, what did you feel What did you feel when you started? What did you feel when you started getting letters from people sharing their stories? Because, I mean, in your moment, before the book even comes to life, I mean, all it was a thought, and now it's becoming a reality that is sitting in front of us.
Well, what's been wonderful is, of course, with the power of social media, I get emails, I get texts, I get DMs on my social media platform from people talking about teachers. But most important, when I'm out and about, people will stop me and say, oh, my gosh, I love your book, and I bought 5 of them to give to, either friends who are teachers or to just send to former teachers. So it struck a chord, and that has been so gratifying to me to see that people really recognize that this this is something that's needed. I mean, teachers really can use this. And I've heard from teachers themselves who've said, thank you for seeing us during a time where we haven't felt seen. So that's been really gratifying to me, because I feel like it was a project that I worked on that I thought was interesting and I thought might resonate. And it just resonated beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm really, really thrilled. And, a bestseller, not so bad. Didn't mind that. So it's been really thrilling to write this book and to continue to see it, out there and growing amongst people in their interests.
I'll tell you the person that I really want to read this book are the instructors that have taken their own careers and they're instructing at different technology schools and things, because they haven't earned that right or that degree to become a teacher, but they're still instructing people on how to shape their personal lives.
I think you're right. And that's why I say not only just teachers, this is devoted to educators. Yes. Because, there are educators from so many different walks of life, whether it may be a principal or a paraprofessional in the school system who may not have their teacher's license, as you say, but still change lives and inspire students and inspire dreams, spark dreams among students. And I think that there are so many people who do that. Rachel Ray, yes. The chef and former talk show host, talked about her grandfather who would get her ready for school. So it was not just the school, it was the grandfather who taught her a lot of lessons that she learned and cherished. So many different aspects of this, and I'm just really delighted that people are enjoying it.
And there's so much propaganda when it comes to teachers, because, here in Carolina, they make it seem like that it's the toughest job in the world to get your hands on to be a teacher, but the opportunity really is right there in front of someone to say, yes, I'm going to teach. And we need a book like this to serve as an inspiration as to who they are reaching.
Well, I certainly hope so, because right now, we don't have enough qualified teachers around the country. We keep hearing about this every school year. School systems are struggling to try to find teachers, and I think that if we can restore some of that luster and some of that satisfaction to this job, maybe, just maybe, this next generation of college students will consider this as a profession, and a noble profession, which so many people did over the years.
Absolutely. Where can people go to find out more about this? And I'm sure you're going to set up some sort of website where people can continue to share their teacher stories.
Well, I don't really have a website for that, but people can certainly share them with me, whether online. But they can also, too, just, share this with, bookstores when they go to buy this book. I hope they will continue to. And also, there's an organization called Donors Choose, where you can actually contribute to a classroom and buy a teacher a whiteboard or an iPad or anything that they might need for their classroom. So there are many ways that you can sort of contribute to teachers and the lessons that they can offer to students.
Boy, that was hitting the nail on the head when you said what teachers bring to that classroom, because at the end of the year, I would be there with my wife putting all that stuff away, and it all came from our pocket.
That's right. Well, people can help make that happen, and I hope they will as a result of this.
Man, thank you so much for taking the time to share your journey with us today.
Oh, my gosh, what a pleasure. Thank you. And say thank you to your wife.
I will. You be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you. You have a good one.